Alright folks, well I haven't been posting lately because things at work got a little crazy, and they're going to be continuing to be crazy probably till the first week of October, so I've had to let this project go for a little bit and concentrate on that, but the schedule should loosen up at work hopefully by first week of October or so I'll be getting back to that, and in the meantime I'll show you what I've done so far on the right side of the car, and thanks for hanging in there, and we'll get back to this probably sometime in the fall. Thanks. Okay, so let me just show you a couple of things I'm doing here. First of all, I used a paper pattern to overlay this so that I could get the wheel opening as it relates to this, and it relates to this cross section here, which is measured up from the bumper to that point on the hood. And I was able to trim the piece out to very close, within an eighth of an inch and as far as this was concerned. And over here I left a little bit more to play with, because what's happening here as I roll the material, I'm losing material on the underside. Anyway, this is the obvious thing I've got going on, which is it's matching the template to the wheel opening as far as the height is concerned. The other thing that I needed to do was to check front to rear, so I had to pick a point on the other side just arbitrarily up to the wheel hole, because of course it's curving away. So I picked a point off the floor, which is 26 inches right here, and then I took and I measured straight across to this little body line that I have in the bumper structure, and I made this measurement from here to there the same as on the other side. I double checked it by having a plumb bob line or a level line down from here to here on the floor, temporarily marked out in tape. And then there's also a little pencil line here that goes up and measures from the back side of the bumper. So I have this distance from here to here as far as how it relates straight up and down to this lower point here to the back side of the bumper. So that's what I'm doing there. I also this time left a little bit more material on here. When I cut this out on the other side, I cut it straight across, and it didn't leave me enough material to do this little roll under section here. Even at that, you can see I'm a little bit short here. I'll have to add some metal in here, but you can see I was trying to be generous with what I had to leave on here, but I was a little short. So I took the English wheel and I got rid of this hard line here once I had this trimmed out. Then I was able to roll that panel into there, and I won't have to add another piece of metal, which on the other side I had to add a V-shaped piece of metal to complete this roll under here. So the other thing I have to do is I took and made a pattern on the other side. I just had to have it attached to a simple framing square off the floor here, and I've got it fit so that the attitude of this lower panel is the same on both sides, and it actually works out to the same height there, as you can see on the bottom side. So those are my main marks to try and get this thing to appear symmetrically as possible. It's a little tricky. You have to keep looking back and forth, because this area here, you have to manipulate it. On that side it's a little straighter down, so I've had to pull this out a little bit in order to make that all work. But just thought I'd show you some of the techniques I'm using to try and match up from side to side, and we'll move on from here. Okay, so that's the extent of what I've gotten done so far, and where I stopped about 2 or 3 weeks ago, I would say, and hopefully I'll get back to it in the early fall, and I'll have more to show for my efforts. And thanks for everybody who's followed along so far. I appreciate all the encouragement and some of the comments, and been very helpful. So we'll get back to it later on, and hopefully you'll all be back, and I'll have more to show to you at that time. Thank you.